Hello. Okay, I know you've written down your goal. You're excited about your goal. I told you to celebrate about your goal. And your goal is very, very important. Your one big goal, where you are headed, is very, very important. And so the next video, we'll talk about the first steps we're going to take to get there. But this video, I really wanted to step back and talk about goal supports, because you have to support your goal in order to move yourself forward, right? So in order for your life to align with your goal and you to propel yourself further more efficiently, it's best for you to make sure that you have goal supports in place. And I call them goal supports. You can call them whatever you'd like. Once I explain them to you, they will be very clear, and you'll say, what the heck is a goal support? It doesn't matter if you understand that term. That's just the way that I name them, so that, like I said before, we can have a common language and verbiage going throughout this course. However, it's really about supporting what's already good in your life so that you don't break it as you move forward. You know, I think sometimes people talk about negativity or issues or challenges or problems, and sometimes we give too much energy to those things. You think about somebody who's climbing up the side of a mountain. They are focused on getting up. They're not looking down. You never look down, right? So looking down to me is the same as entertaining negativity or doing anything that doesn't propel you forward, right? And not even placing judgment on it, just saying from a positive perspective, what does it take me to move forward from where I am now? And putting all your focus and your energy into that. That's what success looks like. That's what reaching your goal looks like. It looks like, you know, laser focus on where you are trying to go, right? So before we get to that laser focus, before we get to the steps that we'll talk about that will help to get you there, first, we have to talk about what's going to support you and make sure you have the right equipment in place so that as you're moving forward, you're not, two steps forward, one step back, okay? So I hope that was clear. And so next week we will talk about, or not next week, just in a few days. Just give me some time. We're going to talk about milestones, mini goals, and some other things about how you incorporate your goals into life, okay? But today, I really want to talk to you about those goal supports. So what you see right here is called the circle of life. So the circle of life is not mine. It's a concept that came from IIN. That's the nutrition school that I went to. And they talk extensively about primary food and secondary food. It's like one of the major concepts that carries you throughout the entire program is talking about primary food versus secondary food. So primary food is what you put in your mouth, the food that you eat. And then secondary food are all of the concepts that are on this wheel. And so this wheel is called the circle of life. Okay, so what you need to do is think about each item or each topic on this wheel and then assign a number to it in terms of how effectively you're achieving your goals or your desires as it relates to that particular area, okay? So for example, you look at your physical activity. And if you are a person who is physically fit and you keep up with your physical goals and you're active enough, then you may be a 9 or a 10 in that area. If you are sitting on the couch and you have a lot of weight to lose and you have no desire to move your body, then you may be a 1 or 2 on that scale. So this, again, is about you, and it's you rating you. But what you need to do is take out a pen and paper, and I suggest that for each topic that you take out a pen and paper, unless I say that it's a quick tip. Then it'll probably be a mini lesson at least, and something that you should take away that you've developed on paper, okay? So anyway, so take out pen and paper. You can pause the video at this point, and then on your piece of paper, just line 1 through 12, and look at the topics that are listed in the order that they're listed in, and then give yourself a score between 1 and 10 for each of the items. And don't think too much about it. Just let it be intuitive, let it flow. Whatever your score is for yourself, then go ahead and give yourself that score. Okay, like I said, press pause if you need to, and I'll just continue on. Okay, so what's going to happen now is you're going to look to your bottom 3 scores, and you're going to look to your top 3 scores. I don't know if you've ever worked on an IT project where you do regression testing. And regression testing, the whole purpose of it is to make sure that before you move forward, when you make improvements, you ensure that you didn't break something that was already working. So what we're going to do is use the circle of life to tell us what's working the best and then what needs the most improvement, okay? So the top 3 things that are working the best, we want to look at those and then look in our lives to say what exactly in my life is supporting these items to make them make them rate so highly, right? Because whatever you're doing, you have to keep doing it. So I will use myself as an example. I don't have a top 3. I actually have a top 4 because I have 4 items that I feel are at a 9, okay? So those 4 items are creativity, career, education, and home cooking. Most of my meals are made at home, and so I want to keep it that way because that's a really big part of my wellness. Education, I have enrolled in yet another certification program and another course that I'll tell you guys about more later, but obviously those are things that are key to me and are increasing my number for education. Career has always been important to me. I love my day job and I love trying to expand my career, so that's a 9 for me, specifically because one of my goals is to build my business as well. So career is a 9 for me, and then creativity. So because my top 3 is actually 4 that are tied, I have to now look at those items and make sure that I don't break what is already working, okay? Then I look at my bottom 3. And my bottom 3 are going to be very important when we talk about goals again, because I want to make sure that once I establish milestones that are going to help me reach my goal, that I am aligning my goal with the bottom 3. So for me, social life, physical activity, and joy are my lowest 3. So I need to, number 1, understand what made them so low in my life, and then figure out how I can align that topic with my goal to do things that are going to get me closer to where I want to be in life. Okay? So I know that may sound a little bit complicated. We're going to talk a lot more about the bottom 3, but if from this exercise you could determine your top 3, just your top 3, what did you rate the top 3 on the circle of life? And then once you have those 3 topics, I need you to outline what do you currently do in your day-to-day life that supports these top 3. Okay? Think really hard about what you do to support those 3 topics, because this is where time management and goal achievement actually meet. You do not want to overwhelm yourself and overcommit yourself so that you don't have time to achieve your goal, your big, fat goal. You don't want to look back in 10 years saying, you know what, I should have kept going with that program because I had a really good idea of where I should go. Don't do that, okay? Look at your top 3, determine what things do you do on a day-to-day basis that supports those things, and then assign time to them. Okay, so for me, for education, I should be spending at least 4 hours a week on education right now. That's a minimum. And I've said that I want to spend 20 hours on developing my business, right? So out of those 20 hours, I can't put them all towards my business if I have to take a subset of that and put it to education, okay? So don't think about how it all flows together. For now, I just want you to make sure you look at the circle of life, you give yourself a score on each of the topics, and then pick your top 3 topics, and to those top 3 topics, go ahead and assign a number of hours per week to each topic. That will tell us how much time you are using each week to support your goal, okay? So make sure you know that hour. I will ask you your, later when we try to integrate this into other parts of the program, I will ask you how many hours are your supports per week, okay? So that's where you need to know that this is goal supports and the number of hours that you spend each week in those top 3 areas, okay? I think that was very clear, and hopefully it wasn't too long. So I'm going to go ahead and say see you guys later for now. But again, just make sure that you understand the topics that are here. In our next conversation, we'll talk about milestones and reaching those goals. So as always, go ahead and leave comments and let me know if there are any topics that are unclear to you or additional information that could help you, or if you want to start giving me some specifics around your goals and what you're trying to achieve and let everybody else know, then not only can we support you better, but in me answering questions, I hope that I can provide information. So again, this is a self-coaching course, and it's kind of difficult because I'm coaching myself. So I'm coming from my own perspective and where I am and where I'm trying to go. In order for me to meet you where you are, whether it be ahead of me or if you could benefit from some of the lessons that I've already learned, the only way that we're going to be able to do that is if you ask questions. So leave your questions in the comments. If you haven't subscribed but you're following along, go ahead, subscribe, and press notifications so you know when the next video is out. It should be in the next few days. I'm sending you love and luck and positive energy, and I'll talk to you soon.